Hello, my name's Georgia Lucy and this is my bedroom. Come on in. This used to be the music room of an old school in the 70s called the Zoe School. That's Mount Wellington or Clunani, and we are in Ferntree. So in this room there used to be lots of percussion around the walls and a piano, and children would come here and learn how to play. And now it's my playroom, and this is where I make my art, or think about it anyway. I think about the alternative potential of perfunctory objects. I write lyrics for my band, All the Weathers and Power Nap. I make paper mache sculptures. It's my safe place, away from the city. And when I need a computer, I go down the pipeline track to town. These here are some orgasmatrons that were part of an installation that I did at UTAS Art School down in Hobart. So the idea was, if I could massage all my neighbours at once, how could I do that? And I figured out if you put 100 of them on a Hills hoist, when you wind them up and down, everyone will be massaged at the same time. I video documented this, and that's when I started getting into filming. All right, the first memory I have of editing or being part of the editing process was with my mate, Colby Cannon. This is him. He lives in New York now, making films, and I was blessed to live with him in an old mechanics for a year called Medium Art Space, where we came up with this crazy idea for our birthdays that between the dates, the 4th of November and the 12th of November, we were going to shoot a sci-fi film. The plot being that we'd just lose the plot and invite all strangers of all walks of life to come in and just shoot anything sci-fi. So that involved 8 days of just losing our minds, going out onto different locations, using like shopping trolleys as dollies and prams and alfoil. It was on this project that I've never looked back on, the magic of the green screen. As you can see, I'm pretty dodgy at it, but that's all part of it. It's like when you see a puppet show and you're allowed to see the strings, you understand how the puppet works, and I think there's an art to that. I like exposing how things work. And nothing happened with that footage for 4 years because we ended up with just footage in all different formats, from phones, just videotapes, just heaps of sound, lots of bands recorded for it, and it was like 24 hours worth of footage. And then 4 years later, Colby invited me to Yamba, and I sat next to him and watched how editing is done, and I got to look at footage and see what I wanted to do with it, but I didn't yet have the skills to just do it. So I direct Colby of how to do it, and he'd just be wizard, eating tubs of ice cream and just editing away and chopping it up, and we condense all this footage into 1 hour, and it's called Sci-Fi, 8 days in 2009. You can see it on the internet. After that, I went to uni and just learned how to use Final Cut Pro for myself. I'm not a master of Final Cut Pro, the program, but you get better just by sitting there and fiddling around and cutting stuff up and shuffling the little cuts, which look like grains of rice on a timeline. And you just shuffle them up and see where the footage fits best. You just have to start the project in order to finish it. So being in your own band is a bonus, and making your own songs is like a bonus because there's no pressure to make a clip. You could just do it and get your bandmates to do anything for you. Just get them all together at the same time and just muck around. And this song called You're in Trouble, I picked to make because it's really important to me, because it's a song about abortions in Tasmania. And I think film and song and any art form is a good tool to get messages out there that are important. Okay. One of my processes that I like to use is when I'm making films is just the toilet roll frame technique, because sometimes you get stuck for ideas, but if you walk around your world by just limiting what you can see and making a tunnel, you can hone in to tiny parts of your atmosphere, of your surroundings, and just focus in and frame things in a way so they're isolated. You get some really good footage to put behind green screens, just good textures to work with, just celebrating some crazy guy with a beer gut, like he's just there whippersnippering on the road and you're looking through your toilet roll frame and you've caught him and you can put him in a film clip. Here is a VHS camera that only works when it's plugged into the wall, which is a challenge, but I love a challenge. This was used to film Power Nap's film clip, Paranoid. We also had another VHS camera which only had half an hour's battery life, so when we went out to film with that one in public, we had to make sure we just get these shots right, or just get any shots worth editing, because we had to keep coming back and charging up the camera, which is why that film clip is just packed full of Hobart's icons and us misbehaving in them. My bags in the way I run. Well, I've been drifting out of west towards the setting sun. Guess I'm a Recently, I've worked on some collaborations with film clips. So the Power Nap one, I sat there and edited over like 24 hours non-stop with Matt Leary, who's in the band as well, and we fought and fused our brains together to come up with that masterpiece. But recently Treehouse were asked to make a film clip for their album, for a single called Hammer on the Door, and they didn't have much time. They had a 2-week turnaround, and Kim and I got together and just tried to pump something out that all the band members would be happy with, which was quite difficult, but we did it. And because the band Treehouse are just Hobart bunch of chillers and with genuine grins, that clip made it to Rage a week after it was put online. Yep, Hobart music, Hobart artists on the telly. It was screened live at the Brisbane Hotel while a funk band was playing. The TV was on mute, but still the TV had a bigger crowd supporting the clip. Yeah, I'm stoked. And in the future, I'd like to be on Rage again. I've always wanted to be on Rage. The naked film clip that you're about to see, I forged the fact that we were on Rage by inserting a picture of me at a rally protesting the cuts to the ABC, holding a Rage placard. Now, I don't know what's next on the horizon, but I'm certain that I will get a computer, so watch out.
talk to anybody, and I stayed there for a few months, and I really didn't mind it. They let me cook pizza. I'd be fine to stay here for a while and watch everything pass and take its time. I think about the people that I used to know, and I watch the birds grab the worm from the dirt, and I don't really mind if they let me cook pizza. So it goes, and time just passes. I look at the clouds and I watch everybody around me, and I think about my dog, and it goes.
Oh.